Welcome to the Epic Outdoor Sportsman series, Kiss to Cook. Today, we're going to be making pear preserves. We're going to be taking this and turning it into this. Stay tuned. Let's get to making it right now. Okay, we've picked about 21 pounds of pears. Let's get them prepped. When selecting your pears, you want to make sure you get a nice firm pear. You don't want a pear that's soft or overripe. This pear needs to be firm, and you want to just start by taking a thin layer of skin off the outside of the pear, peeling around the outside, taking as little as possible off. Being careful when you're doing this. I'm using a paring knife here, and what I'm going to do is go all the way around the outside of the pear, cut some off the top and some off the bottom. Also, if there's an area that's I got a bad spot in the pear, or an area that's got an indentation, I usually try to just core it out with the paring knife and get them ready. Now what you want to do is begin slicing the pear in small chunks. Usually start at the top and cutting sections out. You want to be careful here that you don't get into the core, which is the center section of the pear. That's pretty tough, and you don't want that into your pear preserves. But I cut small chunks around the outside of the top, and then I flip it over. Start cutting small chunks out of the bottom of the pear. Just taking small cuts into there, and just be sure you do not get that core. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some lemon juice as I'm cutting these pear slices up. As you add the lemon juice, it'll keep the pears from turning brown. It sort of prevents them from turning brown. Stir it up a little bit, get lemon juice mixed up in it, and continue slicing my pears and adding lemon juice as I'm going along. This is probably going to take about 3 or 4 lemons to squeeze out and get the juice for the amount of pears that I have. Okay, now that I've added my lemon juice and I've got another several pears cut up, I've got about 3/4 of a bowl here. I'm going to start using this hand chopper to start chopping them up in the smaller bite-sized pieces, usually about 1/4 inch or smaller. Just keep chopping, turning your chopper, getting it mixed up in the bowl. Make sure you get all those pears chopped up to small bite-sized pieces. Okay, we ended up with 2 nice large size bowls of pears from those 19, 20 pounds of pears that we cut up. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the sugar. And what we want to do is add 2 to 3 cups of sugar per 4 pounds of pears. Okay, now that we got our sugar added in, we're going to start stirring this up, mixing it in thoroughly. And as you're mixing it, the sugar is going to melt, and you're actually going to get somewhat of a little syrup as you're stirring it together. But we're going to make sure that we get these pears thoroughly coated with sugar as we're stirring them up, and get them ready for the next process, which will be putting them in the refrigerator. Okay, now that we got the sugar thoroughly mixed in the bowls, I'm going to cover it with aluminum foil, sealing up all the way around it. And we're going to stick it in the fridge for a minimum of 12 hours to 24 hours so it can go through a macerating process. The macerating process is going to draw the liquid out from the pears, creating more of a gel for the jam of these pear preserves. During this macerating process in the fridge for the 12 to 24 hours, the sugar is going to infuse into the pear chunks, firming them up a bit. So you're going to end up with some small chunks that are firm, along with the gel sugary portion in your pear jam. That's going to mix together and form a nice pear jam. Okay, we've got our preserves in a pot. Got them on medium heat, letting them heat up. We got our jars washed. Got them washed with hot soapy water. And we've put the jars in a water bath, basically to sterilize the jars, and left the lids. We're going to wash them and the seals and put them in a later. We're not going to let them sit there and boil in hot water. And let me take a moment here to just say that you should always follow proper canning techniques whenever you're canning vegetables or fruits. Do your research. This is how I do it. I'm not saying this is the way you should do it, but be sure to do research on proper canning techniques so that you do it in a safe and responsible manner. You want to make sure that these things do seal up if you put them on the shelf, and they remain sealed whenever you open them up. Okay, these pears are about ready to start boiling. Get a rolling boiling going there. Once they do that, we're going to turn the temperature down and cook them for another 10 or 15 minutes, stirring as needed to make sure they don't stick to the bottom. Okay, I've had these on for about 30 minutes now. They had a little bit more water in them than what I thought they did. I've had to turn the heat up a little bit. Got them a little bit too low, so I've had to cook them longer. But what you want is that instant read thermometer to read about 220 degrees. That's the gel stage. So we're just about there. Remember, keep them stirring. They're pretty hot now, so be careful. They're starting to thicken up. You can tell they're thickening up. They're just about to reach the gel stage. You can tell these things are hot. And then be careful, that boiling jam will burn you. We're going to go just a few more minutes. About 220 degrees. And then we're going to start putting them in the jars. Also, they've cooked down quite a bit from what they were. And they'll thicken up, so that's what you want to see. You want to see that thickening up. Mostly get some of that water out. What I want to do is leave about a 1/4 inch head space there. And get some plastic here and Just sort of move them around, work out the air bubbles. Make sure we wipe off the rim. Get that in there. Ring on top. And we're going to seal it up. These are pretty hot, so you need to get a rag. Tighten it down. And then we're going back in the water bath with it. Got a jar lid. A tad bit more. Wipe off the rim. Put this on. Put our lid on here. And we're going back in the water bath with it. Okay, got them in the water bath. We're gonna let that reach a rolling boil, making sure that the lids are all covered. And once it reaches a rolling boil, we're gonna let them stay in there about 10 minutes and then take them out. And there we go, Pear Preserves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and a piece which we'll try in the morning. And that's the sound you want to hear, right there. Well, now we have the finished product. Look at that. Doesn't that not look amazing or what? It's going to be incredible. That is some good stuff. Well, we finished them up. As you can see, we got 11 jars here of Pear Preserves. It wasn't too hard to work, but the efforts were well worth it. Didn't take too long to get them peeled, get them processed, get them in the jars. They all sealed up like they should have. And it sure was delicious. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Epic Outdoor Sportsman's Kiss to Cook. Hope to see you next time for our next recipe. Thanks for watching.